It's hard to believe that Apex has already been out for over a year and 5 months now. If you're an OG Season 1 player of Apex Legends, this video is going to bring back some nostalgia. But if you haven't been playing since Season 1, you're going to learn how different Apex was just over a year ago. I hope you enjoyed this step back in time when in Apex there was noobs galore, there was no skill-based matchmaking, and the future of Apex was not looking near as bright as it is today. So it's time to get into the things that only Season 1 players will remember. I'm Alarmix, and let's get into the video. So the first thing that Season 1 players will remember, also Season 0 players will remember a lot of these things I talk about during the video. This is cascades. Now it just kind of brings tears to my eyes thinking about the old days where Apex wasn't that sweaty and cascades was really fun to play in. Cascades is actually on the part of the map that containment is on today. If I do remember correctly, it was 4 buildings that was kind of built on top of this lake, so it was kind of annoying when you fell off of like the little bridges that were on cascades, or if you fell off the buildings, you would actually fall into this water, and that's probably the worst part about cascades, because once you got into this little bit of water, you were super easy to shoot because there really wasn't any cover below these buildings. I actually have a pretty cool 1v3 clip on my channel that took place in cascades. I'll make sure to play that for you. I think I've played it now like 3 times during my videos, and also the people who are really dedicated to my channel may have seen this before if they've, watched all my videos. But I believe me and most OG players did enjoy cascades when it was in the game. The whole thing is though, is that containment is just an upgrade over cascades. It really wasn't the most modern looking place. I would really enjoy if Respawn happened to bring back cascades for a little bit, or if they happen to bring it back again with another LTM. They've done something like this in the past, just bring like a Season 1 Kings Canyon as an LTM where we can play our beloved cascades once again. I do think that the changes to Kings Canyon have been quite positive changes, but at the same time, rip cascades. Let's get on to our next thing. So back in Season 1, there were a bunch of crazy glitches, but I'm gonna talk about one specific one right now. This is the glitch where if you would open up a loot crate and then climb on top of it, it would actually launch you across the map. So this one was super easy to do, and it happened quite often on accident. If you would ever mantle on top of a loot crate, it would send you about half the distance of an entire map. I remember one distinct time on PS4, I was playing with a few of my friends, and we were looting loot crates, everything was going okay, but then all of a sudden, one of my friends was just launched onto the other side of the map. The Respawn development team was very small at the time, and I'm sure they had a huge problem with keeping up with all of the bugs that they accidentally let into the game, and stuff like that was just super funny to see. And there is a decent chance that we will never see bugs like this that are just so easy to repeat and do such crazy things ever again. I want to set aside the next minute or so to talk about just how easy it was to play in Season 1. I can throw up a few clips of me completely pub stomping on Apex Legends in Season 1, and the thing is that I wasn't that great at the game. You can see my movements wasn't the most perfect, but everyone was just so terrible at strafing, and everyone was just so easy to hit. People would stand in the open, not strafe, sit there and shoot you, and it was super easy to hit them. Nowadays, people are going in and out of cover, shooting you with the wingman, sitting at super long ranges with a sniper rifle. But back in the day, you could casually rush someone with an R99, laser the heck out of them, have them not strafe you, have them not turn on you. Also, it was kind of nice when you would attack someone, they wouldn't have their entire squad by them. People at the time, I hope I'm not taking shots at too many people, but they just didn't stay with their team even as much as they do today. Or maybe sticking with your team was about the same, I don't know. It was just super easy to get kills, and I wasn't getting backstabbed by a bunch of enemies near as bad. I think third partying actually was what made it so easy in Season 1. There weren't near as many third parties, so there were a couple of contributing factors to why it was so easy to dominate in Season 1. First of all, the R400 combo, the R99 and the R301, it was super easy to just destroy people with it. The accuracy on those guns were great. There was more ammo in the mags. The R99 and the R301 have been nerfed throughout Apex Legends history. Like when the game first started out, it was a lot easier to use those guns. Now today, they're not quite as good as what they used to be. And also, skill-based matchmaking was either non-existent in Season 1 or it just was not as harsh. My theory on how skill-based matchmaking works today is that there's around 4 tiers of skill. So based on how good you've done in your last 4 games, there may be an A, B, C, or D tier that you get matched in, and you play people with your similar skill. I think back in the day, maybe there were 2 skill tiers, an A and B tier, so you did see good people, but for whatever reason, for me, I didn't see very many good people, and everyone was complete garbage. I'm sorry to take shots at the noobs that played during Season 1, but now let's talk a little bit about the legends that were in the game at the time. So at the very beginning of Season 1, we had the very first legend released into the game. This was Octane. Right as Octane was released, everybody was playing him because, you know, we didn't see a new legend up to that point. You know, even worse than today when a new legend is released, everyone was picking the heck out of Octane. I remember unlocking Octane right at the Season 1 update, and it was super hard to choose Octane in the loading screen. Like I said, even harder than today. Like, you know, when Loba came out, you could choose Loba, but when Octane came out, you had to be the first of the three to play him. Also, back in the day, I do not think Octane was very good. I think over time, the legends, they have been buffed overall. Like the legends, their abilities have more effect in the games today than they did back in the day. But Octane's jump pad, you had to wait 90 seconds in between each jump pad. His stim only boosted his speed by 30%. And also, you probably know that there is no double jump on Octane's jump pad. I think the double jump buff to his launch pad is, I mean, a pretty huge thing. Also, another thing that happened to the legends in Season 1, mid-Season 1, Gibby and Caustic received the Fortified perk. Up until Gibby and Caustic received the Fortified perk, Gibby and Caustic were not that very good in the meta. Like today, there aren't any really horrible legends in the meta, but back in the day, if someone on your team chose Caustic or Gibby, you could instantly write them off and say, yeah, they're kind of bad. Like choosing Caustic was kind of a meme. That's something like Tim the Tatman would do just to be funny. Otherwise, only complete noobs would really choose Gibby or Caustic. Before Season 1, Pathfinder's hitbox was actually a little bit too big for him. Pathfinder before Season 1 was not really a super viable legend. People weren't really figuring out how to use Pathfinder's grapple yet. There wasn't that indicator on your HUD that said if you could grapple to that object or if it was too far away. But Pathfinder's hitbox being too big before Season 1, at the Season 1 update, they actually took some mass off Pathfinder's hitbox, but then they kind of accidentally broke Pathfinder's hitbox to where he had noodle arms and noodle legs. For that first half of Season 1, you could have made a case for Pathfinder being the most overpowered legend in Apex Legends history. Like, people, can you imagine Pathfinder with a 16-second grapple being super hard to hit? Like, people still didn't quite use Pathfinder like they should have. Like I said, they didn't really figure out how to use Pathfinder yet. The advanced Pathfinder grapple guides didn't quite yet come out. But quickly, before we get into the next thing, if you are not subscribed to my YouTube channel, I encourage you to go below this video and hit that subscribe button. If you like Apex Legends, you will most likely enjoy my YouTube channel. Looking back at the original Apex Legends in Season 0, I realized that the loading screen, you know, the menu before you actually go into a match, the pregame lobby, it was super bare bones. Like, we didn't have any of this quest tab, the battle pass tab, or anything like that. Like, it was just pretty much a place to where your friends could join the lobby and then you could start playing the game. But then in Season 1, the Season 1 update brought the battle pass to Apex Legends. So at that point, the pregame lobby started to have some stuff added to it. It's super crazy to compare the loading screen of today's Apex Legends to the original loading screen of Apex Legends. I mean, really, I do believe that EA deserves credit for growing the Respawn development team. When Apex Legends was first released, as you probably know, the game completely blew up. Season 0 was one of the biggest seasons of Apex Legends ever. But then Season 1 was probably one of the worst seasons of Apex Legends ever. The game started to die off. The content was not coming out very quickly whatsoever. But like I said, now the development team is way bigger. We actually just recently got a brand new Respawn development team up in Canada, and I don't really think the content has really started to come out from that development team yet. So watch out for Season 6. I'm guessing there could be a lot of stuff in the Season 6 update. Obviously, that all depends on how the coronavirus affects the work conditions, but I expect Season 6, along with a new map, to be probably the most content-loaded season ever quite easily. But back in Season 1, we did not have that luxury of a bunch of content coming out. The original content of Apex Legends was super great, but it dried out pretty quickly, and especially once the competition started to tighten up in-game, when people weren't as easy to kill. That is probably when Apex Legends hit its all-time low, is when the players got to be well above average or way better than when they were originally when the game was released, and also the content wasn't coming. That's probably when the all-time low of Season 2 hit, and my guesstimation is that Apex Legends shouldn't be dying because of low content ever again. If you're a longtime viewer of my channel, you've probably seen my things that only Season 0 players remember. I'll put a card up on screen to that video. My content really wasn't that great at that time, but if you want to see what the game was like during Season 0, I recommend that video. And something that I actually failed to mention during that video, I believe, is that B-hop healing. You could do that in Season 0. So if you were being chased and right before you got around a corner, you could actually start healing and then B-hop around that corner. It was super convenient to do, but I was on a controller and really wasn't that good enough to B-hop at the time. But B-Hop healing was actually patched at the Season 1 update. To B-Hop heal today, you either have to be Octane and you have to have Octane Stim going. That will give you enough momentum to B-Hop heal. Or you have to grapple with Pathfinder, and then right after you're done grappling with Pathfinder, then you can B-Hop heal. You have to have a lot of momentum to B-Hop heal. That's why you can't really do it anymore. I want to get on a little bit more of a negative note here. I don't mean to be super negative about it. I just want to discuss it. The Season 1 trailer for Apex Legends, it was quite easily the worst trailer for Apex Legends ever. Octane was teased in-game. I remember at Market there are Octane jump pads all over. That was a super cool tease for the new Legend Octane. But in the Season 1 trailer, I mean, at the time, you know, it was an okay trailer, but if we look at it today compared to the trailers of today, the Season 1 trailer does not even near stack up. It just kind of shows how the development team, they are learning every day, and the Apex Legends content, it is getting better. There are going to be some people who say, no, Apex Legends back in the day was, you know, it was way better. Apex Legends is dead. It's never going to be good again. I have to politely disagree. I don't think you will ever even near play as bad of players as you used to play back in the day, but I do believe the map changes of today, the new Legends, pretty much everything, all of the new content in the updates, it is getting better and better. And something that's as blatantly obvious to look at, that is the trailer of Season 1. You can see that, in fact, the development team, it is getting a lot better. And I think one of the coolest things that you could do in Season 1, this is another glitch, you saw this one in the thumbnail, you could actually attach a couple of abilities to Gibby's shield. So this actually only worked with Gibby's gun shield. You could attach either caustic traps or Octane's launch pad. I don't think there's anything else you could attach to Gibby's launch pad, but that stuff was pretty cool and you could do it. People could literally stack like 5 caustic traps on top of Gibby's shield, walk into the building, and gas out the building with all of the caustic traps attached to Gibby's gun shield. Just things like that in Season 1. I almost wish they'd bring it back for a little while. It was super fun to do. And I never actually tried this one when you attach Octane's launch pad to Gibraltar. I believe you could just point your gun shield at the ground and you'd go flying through the air. That really brings me back into the Apex Legends old days. The original seasons of Apex Legends were awesome, even Season 2 with the Disruptor rounds, and I think that's about all I have to say about Season 1 of Apex Legends. If you are not subscribed to my YouTube channel, I encourage you to go below this video and hit that subscribe button. I do a bunch of different random Apex Legends videos on my channel, so if you like Apex Legends, I'm assuming you'll like my YouTube channel. And anyways, that'll be about it for me, the Alarmix, and I'll see you guys later.